All right, so let's start with the futures. This is the S&P 500. Right now we're up $7.50. I was happier earlier when we were kind of flat, because I prefer when we start flat on the week than gapping up or gapping down. But let's see where we are right now. We're trying to stay above the zone here, right here. So we went back down, test the weekly pivot at 2983.67, right there, boom. Went up, back test the daily pivot, 2988.50, and we push through this upper zone, which is this one here at 2990, 2992. Now we push through and back test it here and hold. The only thing that it needs to do right now is to hold it, or obviously we're going to go back down, but it's very important on those key zones to hold them as support once they break them, because if we go back down, then the algos may see that as a strong signal to sell. So we can see a strong move on the stock downwards if this can't hold, right? The next level, we should see resistance here. I don't have market, but let's mark it real quick together. Let me steal this color here. It's right here. So our next level was going to be 2998.18. If we can hold the top of that zone, and we can consider there's a little zone because Friday the daily pivot was very well recognized here at 29. Let's see, about 29.97.16. So you can see it's kind of a little zone, but you can say the strongest part is going to be either way at 29.98. Once we break above that, we're going to have a small intraday speed bump, but the key level is going to be this one. It's the same key level I said about it last Monday, if I'm not mistaken. That was going to be the level to beat, and the first try was a no-go. We rejected once and twice. These are 4-hour candles, so we had a lot of stuff going on between those two candles, and they both went there and couldn't hold above it. So we know that's going to be our level to beat. Now, what we don't want to do, if you are bullish on the SPY, is a lower high on this pivot here. So something like come here, reject, and then go back down, right? If that happens, then we're most likely going to see a stronger push down, in my opinion. Only if we have like a tweet or news, because then you can't control. But as we always said, tweets and news always comes on. They always come on key levels of resistance and support, right? So we'll see if we're going to get a tweet when we get here, or if we have a rejection and come back down, we get a tweet to get back up. So it's going to be interesting to see. As always, since we are so uncertain on everything and so subjectable to the news and tweets, I always say to keep taking your partials on each of the levels to avoid being involved on a full size on those crazy moves due to the news. So yeah. Now, if we break this, like I said, this is going to be the same setup as last week. It needs to break this one and to get 30.1682. That's what the before bull you're waiting for. You want to see how it reacts to this 30-16-82, which is a strong zone as well. As you guys can see, it came here, had some struggles, went back down, then push above it, couldn't hold, then back down, try again, couldn't hold, back down, try, rejected right there and back down, and then we start that channel down. So that's going to be the 30-16-82 is the most important level once we get there. Now, if we break that, the next level I'll be looking at is the 30-38, and this one here, 30-38 and 30-43. Now we have some we have the speed bumps intraday, which can reject and come, but as long as it holds the key higher time frame zones, then we have a chance to go back and contest that once again and get to the next one. So that's what we are watching on ES. If you are bearish, as always, try to short near the key resistance zones, because if it breaks and holds, then you get out with a little scratch. And if it rejects, you're gonna make a lot of money. Let's check the natural gas. Okay. So we have been playing this a long time. So what happens last week was a rejection of those key zones we talk about. When the stock is moving during the day, I always say, be careful, we're near a key resistance, it needs to break and hold for more, let's take a partial. And that's what happened right here. We couldn't hold above this one, came back down, then we couldn't hold the lower level, which this is a very important pivot right here. It's the main quarterly pivot. So it's you can say it's the second strongest pivot that we have. So, and we couldn't hold that. That's not bueno. But the thing that I didn't like it mostly was that it came below this zone here again. The good news is that it looks like we're gonna give it another shot into reclaim it. We're still doing these higher lows, right? This one is higher than this one. This one is higher than this one. And this period was higher than this one, and this one was higher. So it's still doing the higher lows setup. So we need to keep holding this zone here. Once we break this, then we're not doing higher lows anymore, right? So basically this could be our bear line in the sand zone right here. So let's see if we can keep holding and push above it. And if we reclaim this once again, we may try to give it another shot. So it could be a good place to take a long position, cut it right below it, and see if we can push through finally and get to those higher zones up there. Now you have to keep trailing this. I know everybody is thinking, oh, this is gonna go to $100 again and this and that, but you can always re-enter. Just think about that. I don't know if you guys remember, we entered our first position was right here on this key zone. We didn't got the 2.8017 that I wanted. We really got very close. So if you jump in earlier, well, you congratulations, that was amazing. I was waiting for this and I didn't have it. So we catch it on the push through and retest 1, 2, 3 times, and then we entered here. Dave has been selling and adding, everybody in the chat room selling and adding. I remember exactly this day, I said, everybody, let's sell some. It's getting to a very strong resistance. It was not only a pivot zone, it was also this this line here that is kind of crazy. That's the 200 on the daily chart. So it was inside this key resistance zone. It was also crossing with the 200 on the daily chart. So that was going to be a very rough level to break it the first time. So we secure here, and look what happened right there, right? If you got long on DGAS, you made a lot of money with this move back down. So that's what I was trying to say. Doesn't matter how far we think we're gonna go. Most of the times we don't go on a straight line. So there is no reason to hold, right? We can always reload. So if you sold right there, then you reload right here. So what's the problem, right? You made a lot of money. So just try to think about that. Don't try to be greedy. There's most of the times when you are greedy, you're gonna get burned. That's actually the truth. So let's just try to take our partials and go from there, right? If you end up having another chance to load up, then you load up. If you don't, then you write your little shares up. You're still gonna make good money out of those. Let's check. I think I jumped. Yeah, I jumped my my list. So let's go back and check the NASDAQ, which is the Qs. This is the Qs. Okay, so we have that strong sell. And the only thing that NASDAQ needs to do right now is to stay above this zone here. That's the only job the bulls have this week. If the bulls manage to stay above this, then we have a shot to push through and hold this. Now this 79.26 is going to be a rough area. What we don't want it to happen is come here and then reject, right? And then again, the bulls can also defend on the way back down, but they need to. If this does a lower high here, what does it look like, guys? What is going to look like? A head and shoulders, right? So you have left shoulder, the head, and if we reject here and the bulls can't defend this, what are we going to have here? A right shoulder. So we really need to push through and hold, or reject it first and hold a higher low here and then push. Those are the bull case scenarios. For the short case scenarios, it would not be a bad idea to try a short here with a stop, maybe, let's see, maybe around here. Make a little zone, and then you stop out right there. So it gives a very good risk reward. Short here, then take a partial here, of course, and then if it can breaks, then we can maybe go right here and test the 50 daily moving average, which is going to be interesting. This is the main monthly pivot right here. So it is a magnet until it actually breaks the first resistance in the month, which was here. We couldn't do it the first time. So we're still in range of that 80% chance of touching the main pivot. So until it breaks here, we have 80% chance of going back down. So that's what we're looking for on NASDAQ. Now we have a lot of tech coming with earnings this week. So it's going to be a rough ride if you were trying to play technicals on this, because you may have, let's say, a Microsoft with good earnings and a Google with bad earnings. Then you have an Amazon with good earnings, and you have a Facebook with bad earnings, right? So it's going to be rough. I would say just play the levels intraday. I will not swing anything in terms of the index, okay? And take it day by day. If it breaks and hold a level on that day, go long. If it cracks and holds under a key level that day, then short. That's what we're gonna do this week. There's too many tech companies for me to swing the Qs right now. RTY, which is the Russells, which is the IWM if you play the Russells. Right here, we reject this key zone this past week. We made a higher low on this very important zone here, which consists of the main quarterly and main monthly pivots. Very important. And we bounced from there, which is a great sign. Now, we're still below that key resistance, right? Would I long over here? You guys know I wouldn't long over here. I would never long near a key resistance. For me to long this, it would be either here or a break and hold of this. Because once I'm inside of the zone, so let's say I broke inside of the zone, came back here, right? If I long here, where's going to be my stop? It's going to be right here, right? Now, let's say I long right here and it doesn't get there. What is going to happen? It's going to go back here. So I'm going to go long here. There's no reason. Just always try to fight for price. I watched, the first time I heard that was with SMB videos, and that's one of the most true things ever, which is the same thing I will always say, just wait for your levels. It's the same thing with fight for price, right? Which means don't settle for less. Don't put yourself in a situation. If you have your analysis and you think, okay, this is the key support, this is the key resistance, why are you going to put yourself in a situation where your risk is bigger than your reward, right? Right here is my reward is horrible. I don't know what's going to happen here. It may go and hold and just push through, but it may also go back down, and it can be from here. It can be when it tests here, right? So you don't know. You don't know what is next candle. Now, if you are long over here when it's inside the zone, you know that it doesn't matter what happens, your risk is going to be much, much lower than your reward, right? Your risk is going to be here, and your reward can be here and here. So that's what fight for price means. That's what play the levels means. Okay, so always play the levels, and that's how we do it in chat. We always take the levels. So right now is a no play for me. We do have this pivot from last week that you can use it as an entry and stop. You see how this pivot from last week acted very strongly. Right now we're above it. You see here. So you could, if you want to play, let's say you want to play right now, you think it's going to go to 1544.30, right? Which is here. You could long it and have your stop right below this last week's pivot. But other than that, I would not. If there was nothing here, was just mid-air, I would never take this trade because it's right below my key zone. If you're a scalp trader, yeah, you can take from here to here, about 4 points, 3 points on the Nasdaq. Everything is what is your style, what is your personality as a trader. So right now, yeah, so that's the plan. This is the key resistance. It needs to break and hold. If it doesn't break and hold, this is not an axis, sorry, bristles. So if it doesn't break and hold, what is going to happen? Go back down. It's the same situation. Everything's trading below the key resistances. Just think about that. Yes, we did higher lows, so that's a good sign. But always treat it as the history repeat yourself kind of thing. Until it breaks it and hold, it didn't break it. That's always how I see things. Let's check gold. extend the zone. Okay, so reject right there last week. So we are testing a key resistance right now, a key support, I'm sorry. It needs to hold 1491.40, 1492.30, 1493.20. So that's the key support. If it can't hold here, most likely we're gonna go to 14, oops. We're gonna go first test speed bump at 1488.50. And then we have a key support zone here, 1484.50. So that will be the destination if this doesn't hold. Now, if it holds, we're gonna try to break this again, see how many times. Once we were above it and we came back below it, we tried many times to get there and couldn't break above again. So if we hold this, that's what it has to happen. It needs to break and hold this 1497.20, 1498.10. Once we break this, then we're gonna contest the top of the zone, which is 1502.10. And this is gonna be the toughest one because it's the main monthly pivot. As you guys see, this is the month of October. It came up, test, up, came down, boom, came back down, couldn't hold, go back up, came up, retest, hold, push, came back down, retest, fail. So keep an eye on that. If we get over here, just remember to trail stops. It kind of looks like bearish to me, to be honest. But it's above the key support, so it's a no play for me. If I want to short it, I'll be either looking for a retest over here or a break and retest of this zone. And if it doesn't hold, it's going to give us our favorite short setup, which is this. So that's something to keep an eye on it. Let's check CL, which is our last futures to check. And then we start with the stocks. Yeah, CL and that yearly zone is just ridiculous. You could have made your entire trading month or maybe year out of those, out of that level only. It's right here, this zone here. It keeps reverting to that. We already touched that subject many times, but let me extend. This has been the zone to play up and down, here and here, then push, retest, go. Came here, couldn't hold, back down, push. It's like a trampoline up and down, so it keeps reverting to that. So if you don't want to have any pivot in your chart, just take those two, 54.23, 55.02, and find a play using them. It's really gonna be good for you. Now, it looks like we are testing this key support here, which is 53.71, 53.74. This blue line is the previous close line, so we reject the previous close line, came back down. So it really needs to hold this. If you can't hold this, most likely first we're gonna test these lows here, then we get a speed bump, and then we're gonna test this key zone here, 52.55, 52.77, and that's where you're taking a partial if you're gonna short this. Now, if this holds, you can try a long on here, a partial at maybe you want to take a partial previous close line, definitely a partial at the monthly, the daily main pivot, which is 53.99. But once you get here, that's gonna be the rough area, right? So if you didn't take a partial here and here, just make sure you take one once it gets here. Let's check. Okay, stocks, CMG. So CMG is strong, it held very strong Friday, even with all those stuff going down. CMG just hold very strong. What happened before market open? I said CMG is gapping up, but let's not short this pivot this time. As you guys know, we have been shorting the fail to hold this pivot many times throughout the past couple months. So this time, before market open, say don't short it right away because it's doing this setup here. We may push through, and our next target is going to be 850. So we got here at 849. What is the high? This 849.60. And this happened, right? So if you took a short here, that was amazing, great job. Now, if you took a short here, probably got stopped out because CMG is so wild. You think this is like 30 cents. This is not 30 cents. This is like $3 from here to here. So the best thing was to wait that 850 to short. If you were looking for short, if you were looking for the long, this was our key support line, and our daily was it is 829.50 ish. So we talk about that, but our key level was key support level was 832.58, 833.34, 834.51. That's where we were looking to dip by, right? So we went back down too much. But once we back up, look what happened after. We retested right there on our key zone. So once we confirmed this now is support, we could have gone long and take a partial at 842, which is about $10, and another partial at 850, which was our main resistance that we were looking at Friday. Now, what I like about CMG is how strong it closed, right? It still closed doing higher lows. If you look at the the day overall, you have this low here, a higher low here, a higher low here, and a higher low here. So overall, it's still end the day doing higher lows. So that's something to watch tomorrow. It's below the yearly pivot, so I'm bearish until it can prove that it can stay above it. We have earnings this week. That's something you have to be careful of. So tomorrow, key zone to watch is going to be 839.39, 842.31, and if that breaks, the last line of defense is going to be 832.58 and 835.56 and everything in between. It's like a cluster. There are many pivots in here, just little square. So this is going to be our main support. The last line of defense. This is the main support. And then the 850. So next week we have 850, 855. So it needs to break that for more. And to run into earnings, you really need to hold above 842.31. That's the bottom line. Now let's check ROKU. Boom. Just play the zones, guys. That's what I always say, play the zones. I give you all the zones for you. Just go there, put it in your chart, and wait for a setup. Like, look at that. How much better setup is that? Then it came back down. What is this? This is the main monthly pivot. We bounced right there. That's where I called the long. If you guys don't remember, I called long on Friday. I called the long right here because it reclaimed, right? And I say stop loss, it was where low the day, right here, or break even if you preferred. But the low the day never hit after that. You could have gone long and take a lot of profits. So we call partials over here, a partial over here, and then we call the stop loss at your own risk, which means it's up to you where you want to write it to. I would just suggest don't let it go red, right? Just put your stop in the green. So what we can expect Monday on Roku. We're trading right where the main zone is. So this is going to be our main zone right here for Monday. And for the rest of the week, you can consider the main zone is going to be a little bit lower. So let's change a little bit. Let's do like this here. This is going to be the main support for the week. 127.49, 129.11. Tomorrow's line in the sand, bullish bearish, is going to be here. Let me see, 131.04, 131.27. Key resistance is 133.53. And once we break and hold that, then we can try to get to the 141.50, which is the top of the zone. But remember, to get there, it needs to break and hold the bottom of the zone. It's not only get into the zone, it needs to hold the zone to get to the top of the zone, right? So this is what I really like it, that it was looking bearish to me, is that right off the open, we spiked to here, which was the previous close line. We couldn't hold. It's okay if you don't know the direction yet, don't need to take anything. You can wait a little bit. So once it came back down here, retest this main daily pivot, it came back up and then retest the top of our zone, the bottom of our zone, and it couldn't hold, right? We couldn't hold the bottom of the zone, which is 137.94. And then what happened? Oh, there it goes, our favorite setup. That happened. So if you took a short here at 137-ish, 94, whatever you got in, you could have trailed this so bad. Like, look at that. Okay, so you enter short here. Let's say you waiting for actually good setup and didn't take any partials, so your stop loss is going to be right above it, right? If you reclaim this zone. It never happened. You did a lower high here and came back down, just breeze through these pivots like they were not there. And then it came here, did a bear flag. Couldn't, even a fake spike here didn't work so well, and came back down. Now, how would you get stop out here? First of all, this is a main monthly pivot. It's the most important pivot of this month. So it's 125.46. It came back, it came down, reclaimed. You see all this action here? This tells me this is a possible reversal, right? So I would be taking if you didn't take any partials, this is where you want to take them. Now, why would you take here? It tried to bounce, but it never broke above here. So it tried to bounce off the 127.49, but it never went above the above pivot. That's a funny way to say it, but never went above this pivot here at 128.99. It couldn't do it. So it failed, retest here, right here, see? And couldn't reclaim. So back down. Way different than what happened here. It's a much different scenario than this and this. And then we go long, right? We go long here. That's what I call. And we came up, test here, rejected, but we hold the lower pivot zone. So there was no reason to get out of the trade. Hold the lower pivot zone and then kept pushing. So that's what we're looking at tomorrow on Roku. Did I already say that? Yes. Did I? Yeah, I already did this. So that's what we're looking for on Roku tomorrow. If we lose this one, this is the last line of defense here, 125.46. If that breaks, we're probably going to drop $4 very quickly. And our next target will be 121.88, 122.36. Let's check BYND. So I'm still bearish on BYND, but I can see that we may have a bounce here tomorrow or the day after. We bounced right off the quarterly pivot right there, 107.90. This candle here was 107.91. So come on, guys. That's a hit to me. Like 1 cent. No. Okay. So it bounced right there. The way I see this is what I really want to happen is like my ideal dream setup would be a push into here. A push into here, and then we have another leg down. So what I want to see, I really want to see a push to this 114, 115, a rejection. Wait for the rejection. Not always going to happen like this at just touching full, right? Never, not always. So take your time. Like I said, I don't know, guys, know if you remember, but you can check a few months my video. We were trying to catch that bounce on BYND. I think it was, I want to say here. And I said, or it was here, it was near 150. Yeah, it was right here on this one. I said that don't try to be the first. If BYND is gonna go, it doesn't matter if you're gonna lose it by 50, 60 cents, right? And right after what happened, it went 100 bucks. So what if you have been the first and this thing dropped 100 bucks, right? For you to waiting for it, and you catch all that move. Now this is the same thing. I'm not saying it's gonna go 100 bucks down, but I'm saying that you don't need to be the first. Just visualize what you want to happen, and when it gets there, then that's when you act. So you can put alert, maybe put alert here at 113, and when it starts getting there, you keep an eye on it. So I would put, if I were you, I'll put an alert at 113, and just in case, put an alert right below this candle here, this 4-hour candle. This is 108.93. So you can put it at 108.50 if you want. If you want to catch a little bit earlier, just 109 maybe. But this is what I want to happen. I want BYND to squeeze tomorrow, preferably in a very violent fashion way. So we squeeze to here, and then we look for a short setup. That would be my ideal setup right there. This is the main weekly pivot, and this is the a monthly pivot. So until we break above this 115.45, we are on bearish territory for the entire week. So let's just solve this problem Monday, push to there, fail, and then we have a full bearish week. That would be awesome. And if we break up below this 107, let's check where we can go. It's been so long it's not in here. All right. Well, let's mark over here. I have a white pivot, so let me grab the blue. What we're gonna have here first, and then should have marked this before, but right here. So the plan is that after we break 107, we're gonna take a partial 103.56, 102.45, 103.56, and then we can see if we write sub 100. Take a partial at 100 because it's a big number, just in case, and then see if we can get this 97.62, 95, 97.62. That would be the ideal setup for us. If you like to scalp intraday, just look for a hold of this pivot, the 111.10. So if we hold this, we're gonna retest here. It's like 80% chance. So if we hold this, we can keep your stop loss right below it and try to ride over there. But just don't forget to sell, because if we reject, it can get ugly. So that will be the plan. Shop. Let's try to go a little bit quicker. See, this is kind of like the BYND setup I just talked about. We bounce from here and then we retest this pocket. That was a very strong pocket right there. That's the kind of setup I want on BYND right there. So we'll see if we can get it. Right now, shop is trying to hold this key support line, the support zone here. Pivot 314.42, 314.65 pivot zone. If we hold this, it has a high chance we're going to test this 320.49. So this is the key resistance right here for tomorrow. 319.66, what is that? 320.71. And our key support is going to keep being in this one here. If we lose that, oops. If we lose that, we're looking at the 310, I mean, sorry. And then the 305.98, 306.40. This 310 is a strong zone, so just keep trailing back, keep trailing down. That's all I have to do. If we reclaim this, we're looking at 324.79, 325.30, then 329.27, 331.16, which is going to be the roughest area from here. Now here, this one is the main weekly, which is the same thing as I explained for BYND. This is the main weekly, so until we're below this, we are bearish on the week. So if you see this pushing very quickly and overextended to here, maybe it's time to give it a shot for a short setup. Now, if it's just grinding up, just wait for the confirmation, like a lower highs or a big seller on level 2, anything that you use to identify on your trading. Let's check IPWR. So these are key resistance right here. It's going to be the roughest spot. The key support Monday is going to be 286, 291, 298. So if you're bullish on it or have a position, you want this to hold tomorrow on the dips. And once that does it, we need to reclaim this very strong zone. So if you're long, we're swinging this long, and this is approaching here, make sure to take some partials. And then if it breaks, that's awesome. You still have some, and you still can make more money from your leftovers. And you can even add, if you like to trade breakouts, you can add on the breakout, or you can wait for the pullback to retest, and then you add it to your position. Now, you also could add, if it holds the dip to here, it depends on how you play. Now, if we break this, we have a series of small speed bumps intraday. I'll keep an eye on this 380, 384 area. And from there, the 450, 461. So you have a nice range from here to here is about 50 cents. and from here to here is about 50 cents as well. So you have like those 50 cents pockets, so it can be very profitable if you keep yourself on check. You see how this zone is important. So just be careful that. Mark in your charts, keep an eye on it, 341, 352. Let's check DERM. So this squeezed a lot of people Friday, but it rejected where, guys? On the strong pivot zone. Right there, SS pivot zone. 853, 867. Now, where are we? 716. Oh, we lost all that. It's not good. So, okay, this is there's a clear way to play this. All right. So this is your key support. You don't want it to break it below it. 698, 716, 734, 741. So this is very important for you that is long. If you're short, you want this not to hold. And this is going to be your key resistance right here. Push it. We can put a little bit higher just because we have a new pivot this week at 870. So our key resistance is going to be 853, 870, which is a very nice range for the size of the stock from here to here. There's a lot of room. You have a small speed bump intraday at 790. So let's mark that, but I need to be with a different color. I would just mark with these two here. Just because I don't like to put the wrong color. So this is gonna be a small speed bump. If you're long, you got long from the dip, and hold the dip, let's say hold the dip and you decide you got long, stop loss like below it. And these approaches here could be a nice spot to take a partial. And then the key resistance is gonna be 87. Once we break there, we're looking at 988, 1025, 1067, 1096. So this is the SS, the next SS zone right here. And this is going to be the S zone. S for strong, SS for super strong, in case you're trying to figure out what it is. So this is what we're looking for Monday for this. So this is the, let me check, daily. Yeah, so this is a daily 200 right here. It's at 894, which is going to be right above this zone here. So once we get, this is most likely what is going to happen. If we break above this, big if, right? So if we break above this, we're probably going to hit that 894, come back down, and then retest. Once we do that, this needs to hold, and then we push to here. If it doesn't hold, what is going to happen? First, we're going to test here. Then we're going to bounce over here. And if we can reclaim, we're going to go back here. So make sure to keep yourself on check. Don't be greedy. Take your partials. You have all the levels you need to take this trade Monday, either short or long. Now let's check SMTS. This is one of the little ones, but somebody asked me to check it out. Let's steal some pivot colors. Let's get the purple. mark here. And let's get a blue one. Let's mark right here. So our key support zone is going to be here. So key support zone for Monday is going to be this. So 134, 136, 137. So you have 5 pivots inside that. 134, 136, 137, 140, 143. So between 134 and 143 is going to be your key. You can call it key zone because it's trading right at it. The key resistance is going to be 154, then 160, 163. Yeah. And after that, you have 175. Now, if we don't hold this, this is going to be our last line of defense, 128, 130. And if we can't hold that, unfortunately, we're going to see a bigger drop, most likely to the yearly pivot at 119. Let's say RETA. This thing has been a beast. Yeah, I'm gonna find a play on this. This is insane. Okay, so tomorrow, the daily zone to watch is gonna be 180.66, 181. So this is gonna be our thermometer for tomorrow. The key resistance is gonna be 184.91, 185.53. Then we're gonna test those 190s. My key zone, key resistance is going to be here at 191.74, 194.75. So what I'll be looking for is a short position if we get overextended to there, and if we get dips that hold to this support zone, I'm going to go long and have a stop right below it. Now let me mark the yearly pivot here. I need a color right here. It's totally overextended. 177.49. There you go. This is the last line of defense together with this 175.80. And after that, we have 171.55, 171.61. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. We have all the important zones set. You can put your alerts if you want to. If we get overextended, I'm going to be looking for a short position on it. What is this? Earnings on November 7th, so we still have a long way to go. And this was a strong push. This candle here has 40 bucks right here. It was up 40 bucks. It tried to reject the yearly pivot here, but it just got bought back up. It gapped up actually. It rejected the end of the day, rejecting the pivot, giving you a short setup just to gap up in the morning, which it was just dirty, very dirty. I was not in. I'm just saying that if you were swinging and you're playing setups, this was a short setup, and they decided to gap it up. So you gap it up, and now we're looking for another setup because we already missed all this. So we'll see. Then we have the levels. Let's check MO. So MO has an interesting setup. it needs to hold. It has a very strong support zone under it. Let me get a purple. Has a very strong support under it. So we could see like a pullback to rip kind of situation. Oops, not this one. Mark this one too. All right, so you have the key support here. This is last line of defense right here. As of right now, it's trading below the daily zone, which is here at 44.31, 44.35. So if we can't break this, we're gonna go back down. If we go back down, we need to hold this first. 44.14, 15, 44.22. If we don't hold, then this is gonna be our last line of defense right here. And if it gets there, I'll be watching very closely for proof of support. So we have 43.76, 43.82, 43.91. If we push up, where can we go? See if I have anything to help us. Let's check 5 years. So we are 44.33. Yikes! You have a main yearly pivot right above it. Let me. 44.92. I need more. Let me check 10 years. All right. So this is all that matters right now. Okay, it's perfect. I'm going to mark this one too. So let's see, 44.33. We have a strong resistance above it. So it needs to clear that. We have this zone here. And we have over here. Where is my white? So the support we have set, the resistance we need to break is 44.92, 45.02. That's going to be our key resistance. And look at that, guys. Look at this. Look at that. Where it rejected before, where it bounced before. Yeah, just take a little bit of time, go back a little bit, and you find the key zones. Okay, you find them. I was not watching here. I'm pretty sure if somebody asked me about this, we would go back and see what we could find. But now it needs to break above that. So those are the key supports. The key resistance is going to be there: 44.92, 45.02. And then you have that triple zone right there: 45.50, 45.88. So that's something to watch if we can do a trampoline from here, trampoline setup. Let's see, Facebook. So Facebook was doing this wedge on the 4-hour. I don't know if you guys can see it. Right there. And it broke down once it couldn't hold anymore this pivot zone right here. And right now it bounced from this key support and is testing the key resistance. Going to test key resistance tomorrow. Let me grab a color here real quick. Mark this previous pivot here. So this is going to be our key resistance on tomorrow on Facebook. 186.37, 186.64, 186.95. So many pivots. 187.09, 187.47. So from 186.37 to 187.47. So we're on $1 zone right there. Key support is going to be 183.60, 184.11, 184.47. Once we break above this, we have 188.90. Then we're going to test this 190.04, 190.70. The strongest resistance is going to be 192.15 if it gets there. Earnings on the 30th, so in 10 days. That will be when? Next Wednesday? Not this one, the next one. So still have some time. Let's check CVS. Okay. CVS has been pushing. And put the daily chart so I can identify the gaps. So the gap closes near the yearly main pivot. Big O. $70. Let's move back to 4 hours. So it needs to hold the first support here is this pivot, which is going to be 65.65. So if it dips there, look for reasons to buy. If you find any, keep your stop loss right below it, because if we break that, most likely we're going to retest 65.06. So plan either to take an initial position with idea to add at the low over there, or just cut it and buy back and at the low. Marking here real quick. I don't like that color. That pivot is not that much. Okay. All right, so right here, 64, 66, 65, 6506 is going to be the last line of defense. The key zone tomorrow is going to be 6616, 6612, and the main support, the key support is going to be 6665, 6577. Resistance, if we hold this above, is going to be, take note, is going to be 6646, 6659. And then once we break that, we should see a nice move. And let me see. The next, you're going to have, I just want to, is this all-time high? No, yeah. Just check that it's going to break the yearly pivot. So let's mark big O. Big O is going to be important. Nope. Save. 6985. Right there. And I'm going to mark this one as well. This one. So that's going to be our key, strongest resistance right there. If we get there, it's going to be a rough one. All right, that should be enough. I really don't need that one because we have the current one right there as well. So if we can manage to break and hold this key resistance, we really have a bunch of intraday speed bumps. But the key resistance on the higher time frames is going to be 66, 67, 68, 67, 88. Remember, it doesn't need to get there on the same day since it's a high time frame. You can always reject on this intraday speed bumps here. So keep an eye on all those as well. Let's check ISRG. So ISRG needs to hold this. This here is the most important on ISRG. 563.29, 565.29. The main daily is at 560.60. So bullish above it, bearish below it. Once we are testing here, remember we can just come back here and reject. So if you decide to go long here, make sure you take some partials in case we go back down. If we can hold this one, reclaim and hold, then we're gonna be looking at those higher levels. Let me zoom in. Where is it? Where did I see it? Oh, right here. Just want to mark this. Why I always have the wrong color. Mark. Here. And here. So that's going to be our key resistance once we break and hold this. 573.98, 577.04. The next is going to be 585, 586.64, 590.64. Now, if we don't hold this, the next is going to be 551, 550, the 545, and then 532, 536, and this is going to be the strongest one at 523.64, 525. Let's check BNGO. So BNGO, we call this. It was super cool. What we said, it was if we could reclaim this 178. Was that? I'm not sure if it was here. It was this Friday. 5, 9, 13. Yes, this was Friday. So it was here pre-market. We mentioned if we could, we were at the key support, which was 125, 141 zone. If we could hold that and push through 179, then we're probably going to get a very nice run. And a very nice run was a little understatement. I really am happy with these results from Friday. We went all the way up to our hitting all of our key resistance again, which was great. 283. I need to mark those on my chart because they are yearly ones. 283. So we hit those resistance zones and we play according to them, which was amazing. And that's another proof once more that pivots do work on those little penny ones, which is awesome. Now, this was our key support right here. That's where we got it. Tomorrow, what's going on with BNGO? Right now is I really like it more on the short side, but if we reclaim the key resistance, then it's different, right? But right now it's trading below the key resistance, which is gonna be 237. Where is that one? 247, 253, 265, 283. So this is gonna be 50-cent zone, but remember we have this in between, so you have to have all of them. Okay, just mark all of them. If we can't reclaim this zone, we're gonna continue lower, right? So probably gonna be retesting this 182, 179.2, and then most likely the 93 cents to 125, 141. So keep an eye on that. It really needs to reclaim and hold. If we can reclaim and hold, then we're going to retest at 351, 373, same zone as Friday. And then after that, we can we have 423, 437, 455, and then the 523. Now this 455, 437 zone is where it rejected last time before it pushed to this, on this day. It was right there on that first day push. So just be careful with that. Okay, let's check cats. So cat needs to hold this Monday. 130.45. 130.61. This is a key support, key resistance is going to be top of this zone. This is a big zone. I'm breaking it down in two because we're trading in between. And the top is 130.91, 131.10. If we can't break this one, then we're going to confirm that it couldn't break the trend line. This is a long-term channel trend line. And that's what we have been watching. If we can hold that, we're gonna try to this 131.83, 132.04, and try again to break this 132.83, gosh, 1 sec. 132.83, 133.27, which was that zone we marked before, right there. Now we have earnings this week on the 23rd, which is Wednesday. So we could see a sell into earnings if we break below, 1 second, below 129.86 and hold under. And we can see a run into earnings. Ideally, if we break above this 132.83 on 132.27, but if you want to bet on the upside, then you can grab on the reclaim of this 130.91, 131.10. BA. This was insane Friday. Right now it's trying to hold this pivot 344.45. Yeah. Okay. So we have a little zone, very little zone here. Not that is not as important, but just smaller than usual for a stock this big. But that's where it's trying to hold right now. So it has our attention. If we can keep holding this, we're gonna retest 350. So there's a lot of range right there. Above 350, we have a key zone. Here is this zone at 352.45, 350.321. The main weekly is at 355.57. So that's the last line of defense for the bears. You can say 350.57, 357.97. I prefer the bottom to not push through, but still valid if we can stay inside this box and fail under. Now, if we push above it and then hold support here, just be careful. It can be just consolidating to go up more, a little bit more. So we're bullish from here to go to here and then bearish. I really wanted, honestly, to have 336.42, which is the big O. And we like to play big O's a lot, which is our strongest pivot on the board. So if we think it's going to go here, look for short setups and take it to here. If you think this is the line in the sand right here, then you can go long, take partials on the key resistance, and then take a shot on the short side too. Earnings coming this week on the 23rd as well. So have to be careful. Like I said earlier in the beginning of the stream, there's a lot of earnings going on right now. So have to be careful. Let's check AL. AL key support. Okay, found something here. Yeah, this is a strong pivot. Just want to mark it exactly. At this time of the day, my vision is just not the same. Right there. So that's going to form our key support, which is 2801, 2806, 2808. You can even give it a little bit of room to include the bottom of the daily zone, which is 27.97. So another 4 cents is fine. So this is the key support right here. Our key resistance. Let me grab a white pivot or light gray if you want to be precise. Mark, oops. Marco, okay, right here. See if there's anything else. All right, so the key resistance is going to be here at 28.31, 28.46. All right, and now this is going to be a very difficult one. You guys know that's the main quarterly pivot. So if you're trailing this back up, make sure to take some if it gets there. The level is 28.73. And above that, we have 28.97, 29, and then we have 29.56, 29.73. So you have to keep an eye on those. The downside, though, below this one, you have a less line of defense at a 27.71, 27.75. Tesla. Backtesting that super strong support. This is the 200 daily moving average, pivot zone, and you have the added weekly right there. So key support 253.81. You can, if you want to split into, it's fine. Just do 255.77. I don't want to delete this, but I will just to make it easier for you guys to visualize. So this is going to be key support 255.77, 256.29, 256.79. The last line of defense is going to be this 253.81. Above that, we have the daily main levels, which is 258.17, 258.28. And if we can manage to break above that, we're gonna see 259.90, 260.53, then 262.25, and 262.80. So as usual, Tesla always has a lot of range. Earnings also coming this week on the 23rd. So just be careful, you know how Tesla is crazy. So if you want to play earnings, just make sure to either play neutral or to get something cheaper like a spread. Don't try to go naked so you don't stay too far out of the money because you have to pay less and you don't get IV crush. Costco, only 4 more left and then we are good to go. Costco is trying to reclaim this zone here. 301.92, 302.17. Interesting. So that's the key support for sure. 301.92, 302.17. It's actually back testing. You see he pushed through and now back test. 302.61. Key support. Last line of defense is going to be 300, 365. And key support, key resistance is going to be 303.76, 304.25. Above that, we have 305.64, 306.21. A few small speed bumps that you can see on the screen. And our key and main resistance, if we get there, is going to be this 309.57, 310.08. I think that's where it rejected earnings, or no? Don't even know why I marked that. Oh, I remember, because of the earnings thing. I think it was earnings. I don't know what happened. It was pushing super fast, and I was identifying the levels above it. It never got there, which is a bummer, which would be a great setup. So we'll see if we're gonna try this time and go there. That will be a lot of range. Earnings not coming anytime soon. It's on December the 12th. So we don't need to worry about that factor. So watch for those support. We may push to 310s. Let's try to trail into that. Let's not hold the entire thing to there, okay? ASMB. Is trading below the daily tomorrow. So ideally we go long if we can reclaim it, or if we dip and hold here. 352, 1352, 1406. The key resistance is going to be here. So it's going to be 1505, 1527. If we can't break this, you can choose to take a short into here and then take a partial and watch for if either step up there. Yeah, I like this as support. If we can get there, I'll be looking to see if we can find some bidders to go long. Now, if we break and hold this, we have 1669, 1691, 70, 1720, which was this area right here, and 1834, and 1916, 1961. If we can't hold that, we'll be looking at 1156, 1220. So there is a lot of range to short and long ASMB. Just choose what you want to do and wait for the levels to hit. It really does look interesting, and I'll be watching as well with you tomorrow. RH. Yeah, a friend of mine told me about RH when I was here, and I knew it. We have the monthly pivot, but I completely forgot to set any alerts. If I had my alerts, I most likely take the short on the crack of the monthly. So here, once we cracked here, look at this push in the open and couldn't even go. It just couldn't push through this key zone, which was 184.36, 184.68, and from there it just went down. So that was a great setup. Now what we're looking for it. We have a key resistance at 180, 181.33, 181.87. And let me see here. Yeah, kind of like this. You can have this 180. So 180, 125, a little bit more, maybe 180, 180, 50 as your last line of defense or key support. Let me mark here. Something like this. And once we crack that, we have 178.15. And then the levels we were looking, the next key support is going to be down here. 177.31. So 177, 177.31, 177.61. If you're short and it gets there, make sure to take some off. If it holds above it, we'll be looking at 183.70, and then this 184.68, 185.18. SQ, just two more, SQ and Netflix. So SQ, we nailed this trade, right? We have been calling SQ long to test our big O for how long, guys? It's been a long time. So if you have taken longs on our pivots and take them the partial over there, you made a lot of money. Then you could have shorted from the rejection of big O zone, which was 63.70, 63.93, 97, and 64.48. Let me mark it up. So this was our key resistance. So we cracked for a lot of stuff. We're trying to bounce here on this 59, 67, 60, 23 zone. But again, it's going to be the same setup where we are trading below this key resistance again. So we need to keep an eye on it. The key resistance intraday is going to be 61, 22, 61, 59. And then, oops, and then the 62, 34, 62, 67. The key support we know is going to be here. And if we break that, we'll be looking at 58, 42, 58, 94. A break above our key resistance, big O zone. We have 65, 43, 65, 82, then 66, 52, 66, 93. And that last one, Netflix. Let's see. I told you guys, told you to be careful, Netflix. They missed on subscribers. They lowered the guidance for the next quarter. There were that, in my opinion, there was no reason for it to be this up. All this reaction here, there was no reason for it. Their numbers didn't back it up. So I said, if you were long, be careful with it. Take your profits when market open. And that's what happens. It was 2 days of a completely dump. Now we're back to this key support here, where everything started. Remember when everything started from this bounce from here? Not from here, from here. Remember here? So it's back to test that bottom of the channel. So our key support is going to be, it's so close from the key support. 273.36, 273.82. I'm actually going to mark over here. You can put 273.10, 273.81. Key support. Key resistance is going to be 277.76, 278.64, and the bear's last line of defense at 279.85, 280.36. If we crack this, we are looking into 268.81 and at 265.79 to 67 that we had over here. So it's going to be interesting on Netflix. If we can break above this, we have 284, 62 to 86. Now, yeah, that was the last one, guys. Thanks so much for everybody that showed up and participated of the stream. I'm gonna upload this on YouTube. Please make sure to subscribe to our Power Pivots channel and to like the video. I really appreciate it. Now, I see everybody tomorrow. I see everybody tomorrow at 7 a.m. for pre-market trading. Yes, didn't go anywhere. All right, see you tomorrow. Take care.